Guys, the job search platform Indeed keeps firing people. Just this week, Indeed announced they are firing a small number of employees. Why? Guys, AI and automation is completely transforming the world, but this was their official statement. Quote, "To better align our team structure with business priorities, we've reorganized several functions and made the difficult decision to eliminate a very small number of roles." But what are the roles that are being fired? Hold that thought. We'll get to that in just a moment. Because what we really need to do is highlight the trend, because this is not the first time that Indeed has fired people in the recent past. They keep doing it over and over and over, and we need to get to the bottom of this, guys, because if you're within an organization and you start to smell that the firings are coming, what do? How do you protect yourself? And we'll get to that in a moment also. And by the way, if you're into the future of jobs, into AI, how it's impacting your career field, this is the time to hit subscribe. I'm bringing you fresh videos, fresh news, Monday through Saturday, 6 days a week. On Sunday I rest, but 6 days a week I'm bringing you fresh videos. That is my commitment to you. So hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and leave a comment below if you disagree with anything or if you agree with anything. I read all the comments. All right, let's get into the video here. Okay, so this is not the first time in the recent past that Indeed has fired people. Just in July, Indeed laid off 1,300 employees. That was over 10% of their workforce, guys. And an internal memo from CEO Hisayuki Idekoba, I love that name, Hisayuki Idekoba, revealed some shocking insights. Okay, guys, shocking insights. He said that cuts would mostly affect US-based roles in research, people operations, and sustainability. And the CEO wrote at that time, quote, "AI is changing the world, and the company must adapt." AI is changing the world. Don't listen to me, listen to the CEO Hisayuki. And by the way, he's not just any random CEO, he's the CEO for a company that's focused on jobs and getting people hired. That is what Indeed does. It connects job searchers with job hirers. That is what they do. And he says that AI is changing the world and they keep firing people. Anyway, he continues along this line, quote, "Delivering on this ambition requires us to move faster, try new things, and fix what's broken. To achieve our company priorities, it requires creating structure and culture to support them." Are you starting to see the trend yet, guys? Because, guys, this was not even, they did this just a few months prior. They laid off 1,000 employees in May of 2024. So why is this happening and who's impacted? Who is on the line here? Because, guys, if you know what's happening before everyone else does, you have a competitive advantage. Understand that we are in a very special, very unique history in time. AI and robotics are just changing everything. They're changing everything. And the reality is that the vast majority of people are completely sleeping on this. Whether they're too afraid, it's too big, they're not ready to handle it, or because they're too distracted with the algorithms. I can't tell you why exactly. That is kind of like my life's mission, is to figure out why people are sleeping on this. But this stuff is huge, and it's going to directly impact your ability to feed your family over the next 2 to 4 years. It's very important that we pay attention. That's why I'm doing this every 6 days a week. Okay, so listen. Okay, why is this happening? Let's dive a little bit deeper into why this is happening over at Indeed. So AI efficiency is, my opinion, the number one reason, okay? Indeed has invested heavily into AI-powered job matching, automated ad placement, candidate screening. And what they've been working to do is reduce their team and use AI. And guys, by the way, I recorded a video on this a few months ago. I'll post a link to it here because it's titled, "There's 7 million job listings, but you can't get an interview." Why is that? Because all the job listings are generated and reviewed by AI. And quite frankly, you and all the candidates are using AI agents to apply for the jobs. So what we have is this huge gloat of jobs. It would be impossible, absolutely impossible for a human being to go through all these resumes and do all the job matching and placements. It's all algorithms, it's all artificial intelligence, it's all machine learning. So in that type of an atmosphere, if you're an Indeed, what do you need the humans for? You don't need the humans. You're just trying to match the right applicants to the right jobs. And you don't need humans for that. You need AI, you need better AI, you need faster AI. And again, we're gonna get to who's fired over at Indeed in just a moment, because if you're in any of these fields, you should be where your ears should be perking up. The other, I think, major factor here is, guys, there is a slowing labor market. And we've been talking about this a lot as well. Companies have slowed hiring. Most of the companies that we're covering here say we are not only firing, but we're not hiring. We're not actively looking for new employees right now. So with less users on the platform, you got to adapt your platform. And I think that's happening at Indeed. In fact, I probably need to revisit this. A couple of months ago on the channel, guys, we talked about college graduates not being able to find jobs. The college graduate unemployment rate increased dramatically from 5.8% to 6.6% in just a few months. Just a few months, guys. Companies are not hiring college graduates because college graduates are book smart. They're not street smart. But what else reminds you of book smart and not street smart? Artificial intelligence. Guys, this AI is like a PhD in your pocket that's retarded. I talked about this the other day. It's like that super hot girl that is crazy, you know? So you gotta, what you need to do is, and what I think where we kind of fit in here, you're an expert in your career field, you're an expert in your business, you've got experience, you're studying, you're researching, and then you're leveraging AI as extra data points, extra information to run through that big, beautiful, God-given brain of yours. Leverage AI to give yourself the information and then put it through your own personal lens. That's the way I see our value as men rolling out here, okay? So that's the why. AI and automation, machine learning, completely transforming tech industries, but every industry as a whole. And we also have a slowing labor market where companies are saying, maybe we're not. Maybe we're gonna slow down on hiring. Not only are we gonna be firing and laying off people, we're gonna be slowing down on hiring. So less job listings means Indeed needs to pull back. They need to kind of rethink. They need to be more streamlined. They need to be more efficient. So which roles are being impacted? And I think this is important, guys, for us to understand who is first in line to be fired. So from what I could tell, there's three primary roles. There's research, there's people operations, and sustainability are gonna be the most on the chopping block here over at Indeed. So research, that's researching labor market analytics and user experience testing and trying to figure out what's happening in the market to meet needs. But guys, the reality is that AI is doing a ton of data gathering, insight generation, report analysis. The other day, I shared the story a few weeks back. The other day, the CTO at an organization that I work with sent me over a pretty complicated chart. I didn't understand it, okay? I was read through it a couple times. I wasn't sure exactly what I was looking at. I wasn't sure how to make conclusions on it. So I started typing back a response to him and said, hey, Jim, what is this? What am I looking at here? What am I supposed to kind of understand about this? And I was about to hit send, but I said, you know what? Before I hit send, let me run this through ChatGPT. So I took a screenshot, uploaded it to ChatGPT, and asked it the same question I was about to ask our CTO. And it gave me gold. Gold. It said, this is what we're looking at. These are the KPIs. These are the trends. This is what we need to be excited about. This is what we need to be worried about. Here's how you should respond to the CTO. Boom, copy, edit a little bit, paste, send. I look like a freaking genius. I look like a genius. So that's just, I think, a quick example of some ways that we can be using AI, guys. And you probably are aware of this, but copy and pasting screenshots into stuff like ChatGPT is bananas. It is very, very good. Quick side note, lots of side notes here. When you are uploading documentation, information, data, spreadsheets, charts, graphs, tables, information into ChatGPT or other LLMs, be careful you're not sharing sensitive, personal, proprietary, intellectual information. Why? Because we don't know exactly where that stuff goes. And it could be collected, it could be used. There was an issue that came out a couple months ago where private ChatGPT conversations were leaked in Google. You could find private ChatGPT conversations in Google. People share a lot of crazy stuff in ChatGPT. Anyway, before you end up going in and sharing sensitive personal information and proprietary information, etc., just be mindful that if that goes public, what kind of impact does that have? Probably won't, but better to cross your I's and dot your I's and cross your T's. The other place here that we're seeing the layoffs is going to be in people operations, aka HR. I don't even know what HR is going to be in a couple of years. That industry is changing so fast because AI is handling all these tasks, scheduling interviews, processing forms, summarizing processing reviews. It's, you know, in one of the organizations I work with, every single team member has a Zoom assistant that follows them around to all their calls. So then you can easily just see what's happening in all the calls. It's very powerful for sales automations and things of that nature. And by the way, if you want to know the tools I'm using, you got to subscribe to my newsletter, aiupdate.ai, completely free. It's completely free, guys. You go over to aiupdate.ai and I'll basically give you the book of how I'm seeing AI and how it's impacting workplaces, some of the cool things we're doing with companies that I work with. Regardless, yeah, HR is in the chopping block. In fact, I'll give you a stat. We covered this a couple months ago. McDonald's has used AI in their HR to screen 64 million job applications. And what you'll find in this video is that McDonald's is not the only company doing it. You're gonna have to watch the video to find out more details about that, but it is shocking how much AI is impacting the job search and the job hiring process. And then the last thing that we're seeing here that it appears is being laid off from Indeed is sustainability and corporate responsibility, environmental metrics, some of those different roles. And not to say that they're not important, but that's a lot of like pumping the brakes on different corporate initiatives. You know, I won't go too deeply into that, but that seems to be another role that is being laid off. So listen, guys, end of the day, I don't want to be all doom and gloom because I believe that the future looks bright. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you. But how do we get there? We can see the problem, we can see the tide rising, we see all these issues coming. Well, how do we remain relevant, respected, and financially free? I don't want to be on UBI. I don't want to be on food stamps. We talked about that the other day. They can, you know, the rug can be pulled out from underneath you. Where we need to be as men is we need to be relevant, we need to be respected, and we need to create financial freedom for ourselves and our families, okay? So how do we get there? Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing, okay? Test the tools, adapt to changes in your industry, read, learn, listen to podcasts. Even when you feel like listening to music, listen to a podcast that's boring maybe, but is important to your field. Speak to your colleagues. Speak to your higher ups. What are they doing? How do they see the future? How do they see your role looking in the future? Be public about it. Go to LinkedIn, share articles, share studies, share what you're doing. Be public. And skill stack, most importantly, skill stack. There, you know, your job, your career is not going to be deleted overnight. What is going to change is the way that your life, the way that your career operates. It's going to change. It's not going to look the same in 2 years as it does today. There's going to be different problems to solve. So take your experience, your wealth of experience, your wealth of knowledge, and add on top of that some of the new tools so that you can leverage, again, AI is that crazy hot chick. She looks hot, she's beautiful, but she's a little bit crazy. So you got to think about it this way, guys. A, you'll never be able to handle the crazy hot chick. Don't just pass it by every time. But when you're looking at AI, a lot of people, when they see AI, they think, oh, I'm never going to work again. AI is going to replace everything that I do. No, I do not think that's what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen with AI, at least what we're seeing right now, is that AI filtered through someone that has wisdom, experience, and knowledge is extremely powerful. But what drives me nuts when I'm working with colleagues and team members is when they go in, they copy and paste something from ChatGPT that they don't know, they haven't read, they don't understand it, they haven't vetted it, and it's wrong, it's incomplete. And I gotta say, guys, stop copy and pasting ChatGPT messages to me. Understand what you're looking at first. Okay, I could go off on it. Maybe that's an entire video. Regardless, guys, thanks for being here, subscribing, liking. I'll see you in the next video where we covered right here, because you and I are not the only ones that are starting to pay attention to AI and jobs. Congress is on it, and the Senate has just released or announced a bill to look at jobs and AI and how they impact each other. Check out yesterday's video. I think it'll be fascinating for you. All right, boys, I'll see you there. Peace.